This is proof that everything sells eventually. I bought this Animal House VHS tape, still new. They're still wrapped and sealed up. At a garage sale in January of 2014 while I was still in Arizona for the winter. And it finally sold for $15. I kind of forgot about it, and when I saw that it had sold, I just hoped that I could find it. But it was still in the box marked books and videos. This is a sterling silver phone cover that I found in the an auction box lot. And these are actually have a brand on them and everything. If I can get that in there. Gorham. But I thought this one was really cool. It says Dick and Betty 25th. If only Don had told Betty the truth on Mad Men. That's the way it would have been. This sold for $25. This is a vintage 1928 Franklin calendar from Park Rapids, Minnesota, my home state. This was just an auction box find. And pages haven't been torn out or anything. This actually features a some helpful hints for the housewife, among other things. Kind of interesting. And Park Rapids is up in northern Minnesota, not too far from Lake Itasca, the headwaters of the Mississippi. So very much the vacation land. But when I checked to see where it was being shipped to, it's going right back to Park Rapids. This is a vintage Sony power supply for a transistor radio from the 60s. It looks like it's still new. I did take it apart, or take the packaging off and test it to make sure, because it's so old. And I've had it quite a while. I've had this for a couple of years. Had it priced at $50 and finally took a best offer of $35. This ended up being a very quick sale, just a couple days after I posted it. It's an FM converter by Sparkomatic. They used these back when you only had an AM radio in your car, and you could plug this in, mount it under the dash, and hook it up to your AM radio and receive FM signal. And this one I picked up at an auction just for $2, and it looked like it had never been used, and it sold for $60. This is the start-stop lever off of a Technics turntable. I actually bought this along with some other knobs that I needed from eBay. I paid $5.99 for all the knobs and used a couple, and then I put this back up for sale and it sold for $16. This is a Sony TC100 portable cassette player. It's Sony's first portable cassette player, and I found this in a box at the auction. Whenever I see radios and cassette players covered with a nice leather case, I usually will keep my eye on it, and if it's just a couple dollars, I'll buy the box. And this was in one of those boxes, and it still works. Had the original cord, the earphone, and then I have a bunch of Sony tape, so I included that in the listing, and it sold for $80. These two George Dickel whiskey hats, Tennessee Sour Mash whiskey hats, were in a free box at a garage sale, and a little bit worn, but not falling apart or anything. And I just put them up for 20 bucks for the pair, and they just sold. This is a pair of Marantz monoblock amplifiers. They're the MA5, and these are very, very high end. They're the Esotech series of Marantz. And I purchased these along with a bunch of other equipment for $1,500 a number of months ago, early spring actually. And I sold, I believe I sold a set of speakers for $1,200, and some of the other equipment went for about $500. But I was hoping to get at least $1,400 or $1,300 for these. But with the slow summer months, somebody gave me a $1,000 offer on them, so I took it.